They said China would surpass the US economy by 2030. They said China was the unstoppable force. They didn't count on Xi Jinping, the man doing more to wreck China's economy than any American president ever could. Xi Jinping is the greatest gift to the US. And today I will show you why through 25 of his worst mistakes, each one driving China closer to the edge of collapse. Let's get started. Number 25, the anti-corruption campaign. Politicized and paralyzing. Xi's anti-corruption campaign began with noble rhetoric, but it quickly became a tool for consolidating power, purging political rivals, crippling factions not loyal to Xi, creating a climate of fear in government and business. Today, Chinese officials delay decisions, avoid risks, prioritize political correctness over performance. Result: policy paralysis at every level of government and industry. And ironically, real corruption persists, but now in even more secretive and dangerous forms. When a government fears its own survival more than economic stability, collapse accelerates. Number 24, destroying Hong Kong's economic magic. One country, two systems was supposed to last until 2047. Hong Kong was China's crown jewel, a global financial hub with rule of law, open markets, and trust. Xi killed it early. After the 2019 protests, he imposed the draconian national security law, arrested pro-democracy activists and lawmakers, crushed press freedom, dismantled judicial independence. Result: thousands of professionals and expats fled Hong Kong. Global firms shifted operations to Singapore and Tokyo. Hong Kong's reputation as an open, reliable financial hub is gone. Xi destroyed Hong Kong's unique economic value to please his political ego and crippled China's best link to the global capital markets. Xi Jinping is the greatest gift to the US. Hong Kong's decline is Wall Street's gain. Number 23, Xi's president for life power grab. In 2018, Xi abolished presidential term limits, making himself effectively president for life. This single move shattered the careful political balance that Deng Xiaoping has built to prevent another Mao. Consequences: no internal checks on Xi's power, no clear succession plan, creating huge future instability. Top officials promoted for royalty, not competence. Markets hate uncertainty. Foreign investors know that one-man rule leads to policy whiplash and risk. Domestic entrepreneurs and bureaucrats have grown cautious, knowing Xi can change direction on a whim. Xi Jinping is the greatest gift to the US. No American leader could have done more to undermine China's future political stability. Number 22, turning China into a global outcast. Xi promised win-win cooperation, but delivered wolf warrior diplomacy. Diplomats lashing out online and in foreign capitals. Arrogant messaging alienating allies. Military brinksmanship in Taiwan Strait and South China Sea. Result: China's favorability ratings are collapsing worldwide. Many developing nations burned by Belt and Road regret over-reliance on China. The US and its allies are forming historic new tech and security alliances, precisely to counter China. Xi's aggressive posture has turned a rising China into a global outcast, driving even neutral nations into the US-led camp. Number 21st, excessive military spending for a Taiwan invasion, risking national bankruptcy. Xi's obsession with reunifying Taiwan is driving China down a dangerous economic path. To prepare for a possible invasion, Xi is massively expanding the PLA Navy, now the largest by the number of ships, pouring hundreds of billions into new missile systems and hypersonic weapons, investing in expensive amphibious landing craft aimed at Taiwan scenarios, accelerating Air Force modernization with stealth fighter production. Officially, China's defense budget is about 230 billion, but true spending is likely far higher, with huge off-books spending hidden in state-owned enterprises. This military buildup sucks resources away from civilian infrastructure and social progress, forces local governments to bear hidden military costs, drives debt, and clouds out private sector investment. Parallels to the USSR are striking. The Soviet Union's military overreach in the 1980s helped bankrupt it, a key factor in its collapse. Xi risks repeating this mistake. An invasion of Taiwan would not only be a military disaster, it would be an economic suicide mission. Meanwhile, every dollar Xi pours into his military is a dollar not invested in China's collapsing economy, its poor citizens, or its aging population. Xi Jinping is the greatest gift to the US. America can counter China's military rise as China bankrupts itself trying to invade Taiwan. Number 20, Jack Ma's disappearance, killing the entrepreneurial confidence. Remember when Jack Ma was the face of Chinese innovation? Alibaba was China's Amazon, a world leader in e-commerce, cloud computing, and fintech. Then one speech changed everything. In October 2020, Jack Ma dared to criticize China's financial regulators. The response? Swift and brutal. Jack Ma vanished from public view for months. His company's $37 billion Ant Group IPO, the largest in history, was canceled by regulators just days before launch. The message was clear. In Xi's China, no private citizen can outshine the party. And the fallout? Ant Group was broken up. Alibaba's stock crashed. China's tech sector entered a deep freeze. Entrepreneurs everywhere got the signal. Keep your head down or risk losing it. Innovation dies when fear spreads, and Xi's message killed more than one IPO. It killed trust in China's business environment. Number 19, arbitrary tech crackdowns, suffocating the private sector. Jack Ma was just the first. Xi unleashed a broader assault on China's private tech giants. Meituan fined nearly $500 million for monopolistic practice. Didi, China's ride-hailing leader, forced to delist from the New York Stock Exchange after a surprise cybersecurity probe. Gaming companies slapped with strict limits on playtime and content. The worst part? No clear rules, no due process. Companies operate in constant fear of a midnight knock or a sudden edit. As a result, Chinese tech stocks lost trillions in market value. Foreign investment in China's tech sector plummeted. Top tech talent is looking for exits to Singapore, Dubai, Silicon Valley. Xi's war on tech is a war on China's future growth. Number 18, nationalizing the private sector and turning entrepreneurs into bureaucrats. Under Xi, the line between public and private is vanishing. Thousands of private companies have been forced to establish party committees inside their boards. These aren't ceremonial. They have actually real veto power over company decisions. It's a return to Maoist-style control where politics trumps performance. The impact? Risk-taking declines. Innovation slows. Bureaucratic rot spreads. Entrepreneurship with party oversight isn't entrepreneurship, it's corporate theater. And it's choking the life out of what was once the world's most dynamic private sector. Number 13, punishing wealth and driving capital abroad. Common prosperity sounds nice, but in Xi's hands, it means weaponizing envy and fear against the wealthy. Recent years have seen weaponization of tax audits, public shaming of successful entrepreneurs, forced donations to state causes. Result, China's rich are voting with their feet and their money. In 2023 alone, an estimated 13,000 millionaires left China, the highest of any country. They're taking their capital, their know-how, and their networks with them. You can't build a modern economy while telling your most successful people to get out. Number 16, destroying property market confidence and bursting the bubble without a safety net. For decades, real estate was China's growth engine. Property accounted for 30% of GDP, a dangerously high dependency. Xi inherited a bubble, but instead of deflating it carefully, he chose blunt force intervention, imposed the 3 red lines policy to limit developer leverage, triggered a liquidity crisis among top developers like Evergrande and Country Garden, refused to allow market forces to clear the sector. Now you have millions of unfinished homes, mortgage boycotts by angry buyers, banks exposed to trillions in bad loans. Xi won't let prices fall, fearing social unrest, but by freezing the market now, he's created a zombie property sector that drags down its entire economy. Number 15, mismanaging local government debt, creating a hidden crisis. Local governments are the backbone of China's infrastructure boom, but they have racked up trillions in off-balance sheet debt to fund it. Their main revenue source, land sales to developers. But with the property market frozen, that revenue stream has collapsed. So now, local governments are cutting official essential services, delaying civil servant salaries, selling dubious investment products to retail investors to plug the holes. The risk? A cascading local debt crisis that could engulf China's entire financial system. And Xi has no plan to address it because admitting the problem would mean admitting failure. Number 14, zero COVID disaster, paralyzing the economy. While the world reopened, China shut down. Xi's zero COVID policy meant lockdowns of entire megacities like Shanghai, months of home confinement, ports shut down, disrupting global supply chains, factories idled, consumer spending crushed. For nearly 3 years, zero COVID strangled China's economy. And then when Xi finally abandoned the policy in late 2022, he did so abruptly and without preparation, triggering a chaotic wave of infections and further public anger. Xi Jinping is the greatest gift to the US. While America's economy rebounded, China's economy stumbled. Number 13, driving out foreign investors, eroding global trust. Once China was the world's top destination for foreign direct investment. Now it's a risk zone. Why? Surprise raids on foreign consulting firms, arbitrary detention of foreign executives, expanded anti-espionage laws criminalizing normal business activities. Result, FDI into China fell by 82% in the Q1 of 2024. Multinationals are accelerating China Plus One strategies. Global CEOs are telling investors China is uninvestable. Number 12, censorship and fake data, destroying transparency. Xi doesn't like bad news, but suppressing reality doesn't change it. Under his rule, youth unemployment data was suddenly paused after it exceeded 21%. Independent financial research firms have been shut down or harassed. Access to key economic data is increasingly restricted. Investors hate uncertainty, and they're fleeing a market where the numbers cannot be trusted. The CCP is the world's most expensive lie, and Xi's censorship is making it even more costly. Number 11, youth unemployment crisis, losing a generation. China's youth unemployment hit a record 21.3% before the government stopped publishing the data. Some analysts believe the real figure is over 30%. What is Xi offering the jobless youth? More party ideology classes, military drills, encouragement to take better jobs like street vendor or delivery driver. China's brightest young people are either giving up, lying flat, or leaving the country in record numbers. Without an empowered, hopeful youth, China's long-term growth is doomed. Number 10, the Xiong'an Vanity project, wasting trillions. Xi's pet project, Xiong'an New Area, was supposed to be a model for the cities of the future, a magnet for innovation and talent. Reality, trillions wasted. Empty streets, ghost towns, mass displacement. You can't order Silicon Valley into existence. Real innovation comes from freedom, not fiat. Xi Jinping is the greatest gift to the US. While China builds ghost cities, America builds world-changing companies. Number 9, picking fights with the West, triggering global backlash. Xi believed he could bully smaller countries and intimidate the West. He tried trade coercion against Australia on wine, coal, and barley, hostage diplomacy against Canada in the infamous Meng Wanzhou incident, military pressure on Japan, Taiwan, and the South China Sea neighbors, economic threats against European firms. But instead of submission, Xi triggered Australia doubling its defense budget and tightening alliances. Canada hardening its China stance. Japan ramping up military spending for the first time in generations. Europe becoming more weary of Chinese investment and tech. Result? The very anti-China coalition Xi feared is now forming, led not just by the US, but by China's own neighbors and trading partners. Number 8, crippling demographics, engineering a population crisis. Xi inherited a demographic problem, but he made it much worse. For decades, China's one-child policy suppressed births. Now, despite reversing that policy, China's birth rate continued to plummet. Why? Sky-high housing and education costs, lack of work-life balance, repressive political climate. Young Chinese couples simply don't want to bring children into Xi Jinping's China. In 2023, China's population officially shrank for the first time since the Great Leap Forward. By 2035, over 400 million Chinese will be over 60 years old. The workforce will be shrinking rapidly. A declining population means slower growth, lower productivity, massive pension and healthcare burdens, and Xi has no real plan to fix it beyond empty slogans. Number 7, alienating global supply chains, ending China's factory dominance. China once positioned itself as the factory of the world. Now, global companies are voting with their feet, thanks to Xi's zero COVID fiasco, arbitrary crackdowns, rising geopolitical risk. We now see Apple shifting iPhone production to India and Vietnam, Nike, Adidas, and others moving supply chains to Southeast Asia, Foxconn diversifying operations outside of China. Xi thought China's manufacturing dominance was permanent, but no CEO wants to be trapped in a system where the party can shut your business down overnight. Number 6, the Belt and Road debt trap, losing money and goodwill. Xi launched the Belt and Road Initiative as a grand geopolitical strategy. Build infrastructure abroad, expand China's influence. The developing countries to China economically, but the reality, a global debt trap and a massive financial liability. Many Belt and Road projects are poorly planned, corruption-ridden, environmentally damaging. Dozens of countries now struggle to repay Chinese loans. China has been forced to restructure or write off billions. Anti-China sentiment is rising in many partner nations. And at home, Belt and Road is draining resources Xi can no longer afford. Number 5, over-politicizing business, smothering market forces. In Xi's China, party leadership now trumps merit in business. Banks pressure to lend to state-favored industries, even if they are unprofitable. Private firms push to align with party slogans and goals. SOEs protected, no matter how inefficient. This system misallocates capital, clouds out genuine innovation, encourages corruption. Xi thinks he can engineer growth through top-down control, but markets, not slogans, drive real economic progress, something he refuses to learn. Number 4, creating a surveillance state, killing creativity and confidence. Xi has built the most advanced surveillance state in human history. More than 600 million surveillance cameras, AI facial recognition tracking citizens' movements, online activity monitored and censored, social credit scores punishing undesirable behavior. The result, a society where fear reigns, and innovators cannot thrive in an environment of constant surveillance. Many are choosing to leave. Others simply stop taking risks because in Xi's China, a wrong word can destroy a career. The CCP is the world's most expensive lie, and Xi's surveillance state is one of its most costly illusions. Number 3, crushing the free thought. Destroying the innovation ecosystem. China's success in past decades was powered by its open, curious minds. In universities, in startups, in research labs. Xi is reversing that. Academia faces growing censorship and party control. Independent media is nearly extinct. Foreign NGOs have been driven out. Online research and online speech is tightly monitored and punished. Without intellectual freedom, scientific research suffers. Innovation stagnates. Global collaboration collapses. Xi wants obedience over originality, but that will cost China dearly in its global knowledge economy. Number 2, global tech isolation, engineering China's tech backwardness. Xi believed he could achieve tech self-sufficiency through sheer will. He launched Made in China 2025, now largely abandoned. Heavy subsidies to build domestic chip makers, harsh restrictions on foreign tech firms, but the US and its allies responded, cutting China off from advanced semiconductors, tightening export controls, restricting access to critical chip-making tools. Now China's tech sector faces severe talent shortage, inability to source cutting-edge chips, growing dependence on outdated technology. No modern economy can thrive without global tech integration, and Xi had boxed China out of the most critical sectors of the future. Number 1, hubris, believing he can command the market and the world. He believes he can command markets through fiat, bend demographics to his will, bully the world into accepting China's dominance, force innovation through slogans, defy economic fundamentals. This hubris is leading to policy paralysis, massive capital flight, talent drain, global isolation, and as the costs mount, Xi doubles down instead of cost correcting. Xi Jinping is the greatest gift to the US because every one of his mistakes make America's job easier and unites the free world against China's authoritarian model. So there you have it, 25 of Xi Jinping's worst mistakes, each one pushing China's economy closer to collapse. If you value truth over propaganda, subscribe now, because here I say what they won't. I show what they hide. See you next time.